I'm sure that most of us would expect that when we find a Filipino who we want to be in a relationship with for the rest of our lives, that she would be madly in love with us. Who knows? Perhaps you've fallen deeply for her, but the reality is that not all Filipinas will enter a serious relationship with a man and be totally in love. Yes, indeed. There are a good number of Filipinas who may believe that they can and will learn to love the man. But is this realistic and even healthy for the relationship? How will you even know if your Filipina is truly in love with you? Or is she just saying she is in hope that one day true love will finally arrive for her? These are all very interesting and important questions which I'll answer for you in this video. So be sure to buckle up and stay with me here. Just quickly, if you're searching for a Filipina and are not sure where to start, then why not check out my affiliate link in the pinned comment and description of this video to the Philippines' #1 dating site, Christian Filipina, where it's free to join via a basic membership and view tens of thousands of beautiful Filipina profiles right now. I guess it all comes down to what your expectations are around the relationship and how much you feel that you can trust your Filipina. As men who have had a good amount of life experience behind us, we must certainly be realistic around what we want out of the relationship and what sort of Filipina can meet our needs and expectations. Now, I don't want to generalize here because all Filipinas are not the same. So what I say here refers to some, not all Filipinas. Now, if we choose a Filipina who, let's say, is in her early 20s and a good 40 years our junior, can we realistically expect that she'll truly love such a man, or is it likely that she may be looking for a way out of poverty, or perhaps, with the offer of a new life, she may convince herself that she can learn to love the much older man? On the other hand, what if a 25-year-old foreigner was to start a relationship with a Filipina around the same age? Would we then reasonably expect that it's more likely the Filipina is in love with the foreign guy? Whilst no one ever really knows what's in the mind of another person, I do think the odds are stacked more in the favour of the younger couple in this case. Clearly, attraction plays a part for most people in most relationships. Of course, we want to be attracted at some level to our partner, and equally she'll want to be attracted to you in some way. To the average person, it's very hard to see how a beautiful young Filipina could be attracted physically to a much older man, even if he's in reasonable physical shape. Over the years, I've spoken to many Filipinas who have openly told me that they entered a relationship with a much older foreign man, believing that in time she'll learn to love him, even though at the start they weren't physically attracted to him. Now, the obvious elephant in the room here is around if she's only with him for money, to escape poverty, and to have a better life. On the surface, this would certainly seem like the likely reason. That is, until we really hear what such Filipinas have to say on this, and to me, when I listened and understood, it really blew my mind. You know, I often get comments saying things like Filipinas are no different to any other woman in the world, or Filipinas only want your money or a better life. When I read these comments, it's clear why these guys may think such a thing, because they only see what they want to see without spending time speaking to different Filipinas to find out their real views. Now, to find out what a Filipina really believes in her heart, she must be able to trust you, or simply you won't find out. I always make my chats with such Filipinas a safe and private space where they understand I would never violate their trust, which allows me to get greater insight into the way many Filipinas may think. Now, for these women who put their trust in me, I found out that indeed a Filipina is far different from women from any other countries that I know. In fact, these Filipinas I found to be rather extraordinary in the way they think about relationships, and indeed have a very deep understanding on what it takes to create a successful relationship. And I do think it's all part of the reasons why many men from all over the world are seeking such a woman to spend their lives with. In the West, we think that love is the most important ingredient to make a relationship work. But to a Filipina, love doesn't have to be at the top of their list. Think about it for just one moment. How many people who are madly in love when they first meet break up within 5 years? Now, I'm sure we've all known of at least one couple like this, and you wonder to yourself what happened to all the love they once had. Well, simply put, love isn't always enough, especially if we lack in many other important areas. What these Filipinas seem to understand is that for a long-lasting relationship to succeed, what's in a person's heart and how he treats his woman and people in general is so much more important. And she'll believe, because he's honest, decent and a caring man, that in time, as she gets to know him better and see more of his care and kindness, that some form of love will grow. Or at least, this is her hope. Anyone who's been in a long-term relationship will know that love changes over the years for most people. It's not to say that it dies, but it's different. When we meet someone, yes, we can be madly in love and can't get enough of each other. But as time goes on, the hormones settle down somewhat and we're not so full on anymore. Over the years, we can, however, start to get a different, deeper form of love that almost connects us in mind, spirit, and body. And you don't need a passionate love to achieve this. These Filipinas may want a more secure future, as we all do. But even more important to them is the fact that they love being part of a family. They grew up in a loving family, usually a larger one, and they've been taught by their mother on how important it is to really care and look after their man. And I can tell you, even a Filipina who's learning to love her foreign man will still have this deep care and respect for a man who treats her well. But will she ever truly love him? And will she tell him the truth from the start that she doesn't love him, but she'll try and learn to love him? Well, I can honestly tell you what I've found out is most of these women that I spoke to didn't see the need to tell the man that she didn't love him at the start. Now, some may say this is rather deceitful, and perhaps it is. But let's go back to the start of this video where I spoke around having real expectations around the type of Filipina you want to have a relationship with. If you want a true loving relationship from the start, would you expect to find that with a 20-year-old or a more mature woman above the age of 30, for example? Now, again, I stress not all Filipinas are the same, so we can't generalise here. But we can look at what will stack the odds more in our favour, and of course, making sure we've spent plenty of time getting to know the Filipina is also important. So yes, perhaps the Filipina may not be totally upfront about how she really feels, because she does believe that in time she'll learn to love the man in some sense of the word. But equally, are your expectations set too high in thinking a 20-year-old Filipina would just fall madly in love with you? Clearly, there are two sides to see here. But in the end, if both people are happy in the relationship, then what's the harm? The Filipina may or may not find the love that she was hoping for. But even if she doesn't, she still knows what other things are so important in creating a solid relationship for the long term. And yes, this can be done more so through mutual care, understanding, and respect for each other. The man may or may never know if the Filipina really loves him or not, but still he may be very happy in the way she treats and looks after him. Although you can tell when a Filipina is truly in love with you. And in fact, I have a video that you can check out on the card above on this very topic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.